Ahoj, ahoj a vítaj pri novom podcaste Chcem sa učiť. Ja som Andrea, lektorka anglického jazyka a dnes ideme trošku počúvať. Idem vám prečítať list z Londýna. Konkrétne tento list obsahuje niektoré frázy, ktoré sú už pre pokročilejších študentov, lebo je písaný nativom. Tak ak si začiatočník, radšej si pustí nejakú tú knižku, ktorú sme si tu čítali, alebo choď do predošlých podcastov, pretože môže sa stať, ako veľa študentov sa stáva, keď sa s nimi rozprávam, že práve toho začiatočníka to odradí, pretože nebude všetkému rozumieť. Ale keď si začiatočník, práve tomuto rozumieť absolútne nemusíš. Tak určite choď do predošlých podcastov a vypočuj si niečo jednoduchšie. Toto je pre mierne pokročilých a vyššie, aby vedeli pochopiť napríklad aj vetu, kde nerozumejú každému jednému slovičku, ale pochopia ju z kontextu. Poďme teda na to. Hello. As I was drifting down the River Thames on a barge boat, it began to rain. Not just any rain though, the soft misty sort that quickly drenched me from head to toe. The surrounding English countryside was green and lush as it slowly transformed into a city. Which city, you ask? Let me tell you all about London, England. Once I arrived, I was instantly, yes, you guessed it, lost. I decided the best course of action was to simply begin walking, despite the rain. People walking all around me had their umbrellas, but alas, I did not. After some time, I came upon a large palace surrounded by a giant fence. The rain was really coming down now, and I decided to ask one of the guardsmen for directions to an inn. He was wearing a red uniform and had a tall black furry hat on his head. "Excuse me, sir, could you please direct me to the nearest lodging?" I asked him with a smile. It was as if I had said nothing at all. He looked straight ahead, unflinchingly still, with his arms pinned to his side. "Hello, sir?" Nothing. "Well, good day to you then." I huffed and walked away. I later learned that he was a king's guard of Buckingham Palace. You'd have to do something truly absurd for one of the guards to move even a muscle. At this point, it was raining so hard that I had to take cover in a big red box I found on the sidewalk. It was a telephone booth. I was only able to stay for a moment, however, because a woman began pecking at the tiny window. I suppose she needed to use the telephone. That, or it was her turn to hide out from the rain. I kept wondering until, at last, a sign up ahead read "Tavern." I raced inside and was pleased to find a warm, toasty room and a crackling merry fire. I hung up my sopping coat and wrung out my hair before having a seat to enjoy a large plate of crispy fish and chips. The next day, I ventured out again. I was delighted to find all of London was enjoying a sunny spring day. This city is simply fascinating, with so much history and so much to see. Where was I to begin? As I pulled out my map and I was planning the day's route, a rather odd automobile stopped on the street in front of me. It was a bright red bus that was 2 stories tall. I smiled at the idea of sitting on the very top, so I handed the driver a few coins and climbed the tiny staircase to take my seat. The bus whirled me all around London and I was able to see many sights from the comfort of my plush seat. I saw Tower Bridge, Westminster Abbey, and the Tower of London. But every time the driver took a turn, the bus swayed heavily. I became a bit green after a while, so I decided to continue the day's adventure on foot. I noticed a large crowd of people gathered around the base of the tower nearby. I walked over and learned we were standing underneath Big Ben, the infamous clock tower. They were all waiting to hear the bell chime the new hour. I cranked my neck trying to see the top of the 300-foot building. Suddenly, the crowd gasped. The moving minute hand of the clock had stopped. Looking around, I noticed an old man sitting against the tower. His mouth was agape and he was snoring loudly. His head had fallen to the ground, so I picked it up and gently placed it back on his head. "Blimey! What time is it? Oh no, oh no, oh no!" he howled. I jumped back, startled, before telling him it was 5 minutes till 2 o'clock. "I forgot to wind the clock," he exclaimed as he wobbled to his feet. "There's 334 steps to the top. I won't make it in time." I looked at the old man with his hunched back and knobby knees, then had an idea. "I can help, sir, if you just tell me what to do." He heaved a sigh of relief and hastily told me exactly how to wind the giant clock. I raced up the steps, stopping to catch my breath only once until I reached the very top of the tower. I could see all of London from up there, but I was on a mission. I found the mechanism and did just as he said, winding it just enough, not too tight. It took every ounce of my strength to turn the giant handle, but I did it. "Be sure to cover your ears," he had told me, and I remembered just in time. Dong! The giant bell, over 7 feet tall, rang out. I could feel the sound vibration all the way to my core. Once at the bottom of the tower, the old man tipped his hat to me and shook my hand. "Thank you, miss. I suppose I owe you one." I celebrated my accomplishment by treating myself to a cup of afternoon tea nearby. I sipped my war drink, pinky up, and helped myself to a few scones with clotted cream and jam. It was delicious. I had a lovely time here in London. This city is so large I could stay for weeks and not explore all of it. But as you know, there is so much more of the world to see, and such little time. Upon leaving the city, I passed Buckingham Palace one last time. I decided to pay my respects to the Queen and try my best at a courtesy. Afterward, I could have sworn I saw that same guardsman smirk and wink as I walked away. Until next time, Isabel. Tak, a tu nám končí list z Londýna. Verím, že ste porozumeli základom toho, čo sa tam dialo, čo Isabel zažila v rámci Londýna, komu pomohla a ako v podstate začala svoj výlet, lebo naozaj boli tu zaujímavé slovíčka, zaujímavé frázy použité, ale ak si sa už vo svojom štúdiu naučil to, že nemusíš rozumieť úplne každému slovíčku na to, aby si pochopil, čo ten druhý hovorí, tak nemal by si mať problém s porozumením tohto krásneho listu. A verím, že si nejaké nové slovičko aj zapamätal, prípadne si zapamätal to, ako voláme niektoré veci v Londýne, pretože vieme, že Londýn je niečím špecifický. Ak máš nejaké otázočky alebo potrebuješ pomoc s angličtinou, kľudne nám napíš a chod na našu webovú stránku www.chcemsaučiť.sk, kde máme kurzy angličtiny a budeme sa na teba tešiť. V budúcom podcaste si preberieme ďalšie idiomatické frázy spojené so zvieratami, tak sa na to teším, verím, že sa počujeme. Bye bye!